All right. Good morning, good evening, good night, whatever you are, wherever you are. Um, a very good point was brought up this morning when I woke up. I saw this regarding Gary Gensler, regarding the SEC, how all of Ethereum falls under US jurisdiction. Um, Listen to this, right? So you'll have to understand this. So Gary Gensler's claim is that majority of the transactions happened in USA, so it falls all under the US jurisdiction. And this was based on Ian Bellina, he's a top YouTuber, his particular coin that he launched. I'm going to ignore all of that nonsense because that's a case against Ian Bellina, and is they're just having an argument. But they picked up on something very important, which I've been talking about quite a bit. For example, we know that majority of the current ETH 2.0 staking pools are located in USA. That's almost like 60-70% of all Ethereum currently. Those nodes are now in USA. So taking in Bellina's case, they can easily use that if that has any precedence, because it does, right? It is very significant. They can use that and say, well, anything that is produced in our country belongs to us. Means it falls under our rules and regulations, which is jurisdictions, right? So that's what they're trying to say. They're trying to say, you did something, but those transactions were confirmed in a node in the USA. Therefore, your project now belongs to USA. Now, for me, the biggest worry is we know a lot of mining, Bitcoin mining, has also moved to USA. Is this going to be a repeated trend we're going to see where SEC is just going to come and say, well, yep, this is now being mined here, so it falls under our jurisdiction? And jurisdiction is one of those kind of things. It's a very powerful word, right? When they say US jurisdictions, it's a very powerful word because that means that you fall under our law and we can do whatever we want with you. So, I mean, Ethereum right now is kind of being screwed. So, my advice is all of these greedy Ethereum centralized entities who are trying to mine Ethereum need to decentralize themselves. They are the problem. They are the problem. And of course, I mentioned something very recently about how if Ethereum is affected by SEC or rules and regulations, and if they can be subpoenaed or summoned, as we like to call it in UK, to the courts in front of a judge, then they could be ordered to shut down particular projects that the laws and whatever doesn't like. And you can see this is a very nice little case, which is okay, different. In Bellina raised some funds, did an ICO. That's an ICO case, but I'm not too bothered about ICO. Just think about it this way: they can pick and choose any currency. They can pick and choose absolutely any currency and do whatever they want now. And you got to wonder, and understand that majority of these altcoins that we have are currently on Ethereum. So, and it doesn't matter what chain you go to, by the way, guys. If they decide to hijack a particular chain, they will, right? So first they picked on Bitcoin. They're still picking on Bitcoin, how Bitcoin is rubbish, how Bitcoin uses too much energy. And now they're picking on Ethereum, how Ethereum, they're trying to kind of create FUD around Ethereum. Now, we do know one thing about Ethereum is that a lot of institutions are invested, right? We talked about it. Institutions are invested in it or are planning to invest in it. So it makes me wonder, is this just a temporary FUD? And if it is, then there's a reason for it. That means it's going to dump the price because people start panicking whenever they hear the news. They don't react before the news, they react after the news. So it will dump. A lot of whales are going to buy cheap and then carry on, move on with the market. However, when we start looking into what this situation is, what Gary said, like what Gary Gensler said, the SEC has full jurisdiction because, and that's a very powerful thing, because it's in USA. That means anything that's produced in USA will get ready to fall under US jurisdiction and get ready to be penalized by the US courts. Um, there's a lot coming. There's a storm coming, mostly to do with centralization. Another thing to do with your privacy, your data, right? Because they're trying to do KYC on everything, right? So they're trying to do KYC on every single account and everything. So they're not going to kill crypto. They're going to leave it alone, but they want you to do full KYC AML. They want full control. They want to know where all the mining centers are. They want to know where all the data centers are. They want to know every single cryptocurrency that exists. You know, they want to take some taxes, some money, whatever, and even shut down some of them. So, you know, if some of those small projects, they're going to shut them down. There's a lot of chaos coming. And now it seems like if you're listed in a particular country, then you fall within that jurisdiction. And believe me, they will push something like this very soon. Okay? I don't have my tinfoil hat on, but that's what's going on. So it's going to be very interesting. But for now, this is just what he mentioned about Ian Berliner. It's a simple case. Ian Berliner sold some ICO or whatever. Now ICOs are, most of them are SEOs because you're selling something, right? So Ian Berliner sold something, is in trouble. But Gary Gensler stuck that in the bottom of the paper where he says Ethereum, and he explained, they fully explained, right, that you're going to be using a transaction method which was then confirmed in a particular country, then it falls within that jurisdiction. And of course, majority of the nodes are in USA. So our friends across the sea, they need to really come up with a better strategy to keep this decentralized, because the more time goes, the more and more centralized it is becoming. And I wonder who's been kind of giving the info, because these guys are not that smart. You know, like SEC is not that smart to actually put a cryptocurrency, a complete node infrastructure into the US jurisdiction. They're not that smart. Trust me, Gary Gensler's not that smart. So it's making me wonder. It's making me wonder. But that's a subject for another day. But other than that, right now, you're just getting a dip. You buy the dip, you move on. Someone mentioned to me today, I mean, actually, KR, he said, is it going to affect us across the river? It will affect everybody, right? When shit hits the fan, a lot of these projects will just vanish. That's what's going to happen. A lot of these projects are going to just completely vanish. And yeah, it's coming for everybody. Believe me, they're one by one, they're going to come for everybody. But it's going to affect everybody financially. Because remember the way crypto works, right? There's no guarantee, right? So you buy cheap, you sell high. That's about it. My advice, as I mentioned on another video as well recently, whatever you do, if you are buying something, if you make a decent amount of percentage, get the hell out. It's not worth it. And when I'm saying get the hell out, I'm not even saying get the hell out and come back to fiat and this and that. Believe me, all of it's about to go to shit. So just keep on rotating, manage your loss this way, because there's some big moves are coming. And I'm not talking about just the market going down a little bit more. I'm not just talking about the great big reset with the monetary system and everything. I've got a feeling there's some other big stuff coming. But that's conspiracy territory, and I don't want to go there. But there is a good video, actually. I highly recommend, if anyone's got like a couple of hours to burn, highly recommend to watch Above Majestic. The movie is called Above Majestic. It's available to rent or buy on YouTube, and if you do struggle to get hold of it, give me a shout. I'll give you, because I've got a copy of it, so I can easily share that. And yeah, it'll be very interesting. Watch that. I highly recommend that. Watch that. It's a movie from 2018, but I do highly recommend watch that. It will totally make sense to you. There's a lot, right? You know, happening, and I believe big things are coming. But yeah, I mean, for now, just chill. You know, buy the dips. That's what I'm calling them. I'm calling these downward trends, I'm calling them dips as well, because that's what they are. Literally, we're dipping ourselves into these things. But remember, only invest what you can afford to lose. You know, don't go overboard and sell everything and have no money to pay your rents, your bills, and this and that, and then buy crypto. No, don't do that. That's greed. Don't do that. Only invest what you can afford to lose right now. Full stop. If you can afford to burn it right now, then go and invest that. Making sure that you can pay your bills and everything. Okay. But other than that, yeah, they do own it. It's Gary Gensler. He's got a good point now. Someone's taught him. And technically, they do. They do. We know that's the thing about centralization. When you have too many things happening in one place, that's what happens. Can you imagine this, right? With all the FUD and all the craziness, they took mining out of China and it went straight into USA. Wow. And now we see signs that it's going to be falling under the US jurisdiction. You've got to wonder. I think it was more decentralized when it was in China. But that's just my opinion, so I'm not going to say anything else. I'm going to leave it with you guys. So other than that, like, share, subscribe. Catch you on another one very soon. And yeah, well, it's interesting stuff, but this is what it is. And these are things we always have to expect, right? Things that you would never expect that, because when you go to the House of Courts, the courtrooms or whatever, remember the way the system works. All right. Anything that has weight is always used, and this has weight. Gary Gensler has weight. So let's see where it goes. Very interesting, very interesting. But let's see what happens. I'm still gonna buy some. I don't give a damn. I'm still buying Ethereum. None of this bothers me right now. If anything's gonna happen, is we're just gonna get massive discounts, and then we're gonna move forward. What are you going to do about it? If it falls under US jurisdiction or UK jurisdiction or whatever jurisdiction, what are you going to do about it? Because other than the fact that USA wants to kill everything off, I mean, what else are they doing? If they want to chase projects away from their country, chase nodes away from their country, then let them carry on. That's what I say. So see the positive in all of this. I'm not looking at the negative thing. I'm looking at it as a positive thing. They want to chase it away. They want to get all the developers to realize that, guys, look, now anything that we build or run majority in USA falls under US jurisdiction, which means falls under SEC or whatever. Well, they move on. But other than that, like, share, subscribe. I'll catch you on another one very soon. Adios, my amigos.